Hello, good afternoon. This is Petra Taman Gesher coming to you live from Tulsa, Oklahoma in the USA. I wanted to go ahead and address the issue of authenticity. Yeah, how do you remain authentic in this age of error, in our time of technology? How do you remain true to yourself in the midst of all this chaos that is going on around us? Besides all the noise, that crowd us every day, how do you remain true to yourself, the true you, the authentic you? This is what I mean by activating our true voice, because I believe that there is a fake voice, kind of like the fake voice, and then you have the true voice, and they try to mimic each other, but they're very different. So today we're gonna break down a little bit, and hopefully after this broadcast you'll be more encouraged than ever before to go after the true you, the authentic you that God made you to be, that you'll not be living another version that is not you, it's not what you're meant to be. So anyways, again, like I said, I'm now convinced it's harder for us to be true to ourselves now in this era of technology than before. We are constantly bombarded with media that tells us who we ought to be, who we want to be, how we should behave, how we should express ourselves. And all these influences, they slowly chip in and take away the ability of us becoming authentic ourselves, authentic selves, right? Yeah. So, but by being someone you're not, you know, you're telling yourself that you're not okay with who you are. You're not fine. You're holding or you're suppressing who you really can be. You end up leaving you feeling lonely, disconnected from others, or even worthless. So, because of that, we hold onto the fake us, which I'll get down into the fake version of us. That's not the true version of you. But because of all the things, we keep suppressing that, the authentic us from coming up. So, why should we be talking about overcoming inauthenticity? Is it so hard? No, not at all. But it is a process. We were modeled as children, as we've been seeing the limiting self belief system that I've been discussing. If you missed those talks, please go to my YouTube channel and you'll be blessed. But yeah, we were modeled as children by our parents, by our teachers, by religion, peers, and society to fit in. And as a result, we develop these beliefs, these thoughts, these emotions and behaviors that keep us from acting in ways we were taught to act. Not in the way that we make that makes us feel like our authentic selves, but in a way that we feel is acceptable to the society. This version of ourselves can be thought of as adaptive self, the self that prioritizes fitting in, right? Getting along and generally doing what we are told to do. You just do things. You don't even stop to ask because that's how you've been modeled, that's how you've been conditioned. The self is not without value and purpose, not at all. It helps us to be functioning members of a society. Yeah, because we're fitting in, we can flow with everybody, right? But if you are feeling inauthentic in doing that, the adaptive self is probably running your life. Oh, I love this. To reclaim your authenticity, you need to discover your authentic self. And that's why it's important that we talk about this. The self that prioritizes living according to your values and pursuing your purpose and fighting for the causes that you care about. For most of us, our authentic self is buried deep in our unconscious world, where it remains hard to identify and to let out. It's invisible, we don't see it, so we don't even think about it. So then, how do we develop authenticity? How do we become authentic? I'm just going to give you very few tips here because this is not a full-blown course or anything, but I'm just giving you some highlights. And I'll refer you to my website, petraote.com. And you can find all the details there and subscribe to any of those courses, whether it's purpose or happiness or goal and success. And it will be a great blessing to you. I have the workbooks I'll be sending to you. But let's move forward. Okay, here are some of the few steps that I'm going to list for you of how you can express being yourself and how you can continue to develop your authenticity. Number one, this is very important. You gotta observe yourself objectively to develop authenticity. Yeah. Learn to observe yourself like a fly on the wall, like a mosquito that's standing on something and your eyes are glued on it. Watch yourself as you live in the present moment, being mindful of the present, live in the present. What's going on around me? What does the environment look like? What are some of the things going on around? What's flying around my head? Be aware of the moment, observing how your adaptive self behaves. What it believes and how it reacts under pressure. Like now, what we're going through generally in the country, how are you reacting to the pressure and how it responds to challenges? Practice noticing some of these responses. Do you feel authentic? And which ones feel inauthentic? By identifying which responses are adaptive versus authentic, you can then begin to notice the falseness. Most of us were raised in some sort of family style environment. I talked about this in my previous broadcast, how you know, childhood upbringing can condition us into certain limiting belief systems. So for most of our vulnerable years, yeah, the family style environment have conditioned us a certain way. Think back to episodes in your childhood, episodes that led you to stop being your authentic self and instead adapt to some way of existing in the world. By examining where our behaviors come from, we learn a lot about the authentic selves. Number three, open a dialogue between the adaptive self and the authentic self. Invite the two aspects of your life together, the adaptive and the authentic. The adaptive and the authentic. Have a dialogue, have a mediation, have a thought exercise going on, and then respectfully introduce both, right? Thank the adaptive self for helping you function in a community, in a society, and to help you cope in confusing times, right? In difficult times. And then thank your authentic self for helping you feel whole, feel real, and feel self confident. So the more you keep doing that, the more you begin getting very alert when your adaptive self is in operation or your authentic self is in operation, instead of letting your adaptive self run your life, which is, by the way, fake. That is not you. And this is why we talk about activating your true voice. That is the real you, the authentic you. Okay, number four, I think, yeah, develop courage to face your fears. This is very important too. Humans tend to be most comfortable, yeah, with what is familiar. We want what is familiar to us. Our authentic self always has a lot of fear, sadness, and anger. Our true selves were hurt, okay? And that's why the adaptive self took over. It makes sense. Because when I try to be me, ABC always happens. People take me to be like this, like that, like that. People tend to misunderstand my actions for that, for that, for that. So because of that, I'm just going to put on this adaptive self and act like everybody else and just fit in and go with the flow. That's not very good. So, for us to become our authentic selves, we must be willing to confront those fears with courage, you know, and then just begin to live you, be you, right? Act you, see you, talk you. However, the difficult secrets hide from ourselves are that is what really makes who we really are. So, as much as possible and as slowly as you need to, courageously explore the truth of what makes you you, what makes me me. Identifying and experiencing and accepting and letting go of these buried emotions is exactly what fuels your authentic self. So, explore those values. What do you stand for? What are the things that you value? Is it integrity? Is it honesty? Is it friendship, love, whatever it is? What do you stand for? Who are you? Who really are you? So do not suppress the authentic self. Let's explore those values and figure out some ways to start living them. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this talk with me and flow together about discovering our true selves and activating our true voice. This course is going to help you to experience more joy and happiness on a daily basis. And by happiness, I don't really mean ha ha ha, like all the time you up and no. You have your low moments and everything, but what keeps you happy is the fact that you are living your purpose. That is what gives you the audacity to overcome obstacles. That's what gives you the strength to propel yourself to another level. You become dissatisfied with the life you're living, that you yearn for that change. That is the true activation that I'm talking about here. It will help you learn to let go of old patterns and belief systems and then replace them with empowering ones. It will help you to stop living everyone else's dreams and embrace your own path. How wonderful if we all could do that. How wonderful. And then it's going to help you control your emotions. Yeah, instead of your emotions controlling you, you learn to put your emotions under control. Like right now, all our emotions are flying all over the place because of the election and the whole process and things that are going on. And so instead of letting those emotions control you, you are in control. You're on the seat, so you control those emotions. You It will help you to live a life of purpose and to be your authentic self. So, you enjoy activating your true voice with Petra? Please join me, subscribe to my courses at petraote.com. This specific segment is under the happiness coaching. Subscribe or just follow me on YouTube. That's Petra Mangeshu, and you can continue to get this simple but very important nuggets coming to you for free. And also follow me on Instagram, Petra Mangeshu, or on Facebook, Petra Mangeshu. God bless you. Until we meet again, bye bye now.